slow down anyone on the side of Mineski. Like, of course, his imprisonment is a very good way for TNC to have some sort of escape options other than Sand King going for the Bodo Strike away. But of course, Sand King can also be a complementary piece to this combo of Darkseer and Shadow Demon as well. They just need a good setup. I mean, Darkseer setup, and then Shadow Demon is just going to pick off some individual targets that would threaten this epic combo of TNC, as Mineski goes for Morphling as their final pick. So in the previous game, we had Ajit playing as Naga Siren. Instead, it's going to be KP that's going to be playing as Naga Siren. So Ajit Morphling, KP Naga Siren. We've seen this during the Disneyland Major, and Virtus Pro just completely whitewashed this composition, the Morphling and Naga Siren build by Mineski. And hopefully TNC could actually learn from that, and they could apply what they've learned from Virtus Pro against this Mineski lineup. Now, what's going to be interesting is how the mid lane matchup is going to pan out. Sure, of course, OD and Medusa are both heavy right hitters, but of course the Mana Shield and the Mystic Snake might eventually slow down Moon's overall farm rate. So Moon has to be careful in this game. And of course, you got the Astral Imprisonment to protect yourself, but sometimes the mana cost may be too much, courtesy of the pressure by Armel's Medusa. I mean, Armel's Medusa has been on a tear against Boom ID early on, and especially from the mid to the late phases of the game. And he has to be careful that that shall not happen. And look at this. Gabby's the one playing as Leshrac. I've never seen Gabby play Leshrac. Like, Gabby normally goes for his casual heroes like Terrorblade or Weaver. But in this case, he's going for a position 1 Leshrac, or maybe a space creating Leshrac. So Gabby's game has transitioned from being a farm-centric core to being a space-creating core. Now, let's see, those of you watching on chat, you could actually voice out your opinions, like which among these two teams is certainly going to win. If you ask me my opinion, I mean, I like the combo setup of TNC Predator. It's really neat. I'm kind of unsure if Leshrac is really going to scale well in the late game. I mean, OD is going to be lethal in the late game, and plus the Naga Siren and Morphling could be a nightmare for the side of TNC. So I'm going with Mineski on this one. I feel like they could pull this off against TNC.
You know what's cooking. You know what's
All right, let's do some quick introductions coming from both squads, with Gabby as your Leshrac, Cuckoo as Darkseer, Tims as Sand King, and AU as your Shadow Demon, putting Armel as his signature hero Medusa. And on the side of Mineski, they have Moon as Outworld Devourer, Ajit as Morphling, Ninja Boogie as Disruptor, KP as your Naga Siren, and Raging Potato as your Earth Spirit. And so far, this could be like Mineski's similar in game number 1, just going for the bottom section of the map, trying to secure the bounties. And TNC, they may have watched the previous matchup, so they've adapted as well. I mean, not Ninja Boogie, but Raging Potato tried to go top just to potentially steal the bounty during that previous matchup, which didn't really happen at all, as he just let Moon Meander get that bounty. I mean, Mineski, I've seen that Mineski loved to rotate in that previous game. Like, they put Ajit at top, and then Ajit at bot within a split second. Like, trying to kite up the space of the Nature's Prophet. But in this case, it won't really seem like that would happen unless if Gabby starts rotating. For me, KPII must not lane against Gabby, just to make sure that his illusions are well secured. Okay, let's look at the bounty sections. As TNC get 2, and Mineski get 2. So it's pretty 50-50. So, as I said early, KP must not lane against Gabby, which I think is going to happen as Gabby decides to go off lane. So you just look at the pressure. And here's the thing, AU's got the poison touch. AU and Gabby will just completely wreck KP's farm space. So KP's just going to rely a lot on the jungles for him to get the necessary farm. And remember, the stacks of poison damage from AU might certainly halt KP's overall farm progress in this game. So if you're Mineski, do you really consider putting KP on a different lane? Or I guess they want to create a lot of space for Ajit. I mean, Cuckoo is playing as Darkseer. and he's soloing all by himself. So Mineski are certainly going to go very aggressive onto Cuckoo with this tri-lane approach. I mean, it's actually very plausible. It's going to be really difficult for KP to lane. He has to deal with Gabby and AU, and he also has to deal with Cuckoo as well. Of course, Ion Shell, it's really going to help Cuckoo amplify his overall farm rate. I mean, currently he's at 1-0 courtesy of this tri-lane, but if you're KP, as you can see, the pressure really is just too much. The magic damage by Gabby and AU is just making sure that KP is not going to have the best time on the top lane. On the other hand, we go here to the mid lane as Raging Potato tries to poison damage through Armel with the Orb of Venom. I mean, so far, if you look at it, Armel has the advantage in terms of, like, last hitting compared to Moon. Now, look, 4v4 compared to, like, Armel at 7-0. And, of course, that forces Raging Potato to go at mid to make sure that Armel doesn't really do well as they get a kill onto KP on the top lane. So they're really shutting down KP in this game. Like, you want to stall down KP to reach level 6, because by the time he goes level 6, he could be a significant factor in terms of team fights. Now, when KP goes for, like, an off-lane Naga, the first thing he buys would be a Meteor Hammer, which is very good. It's a good combo just to, like, potentially shut down anyone from the side of TNC. As you see, Cuckoo doing what most Darkseer players are known for, just attacking through the creep waves. And, of course, that Ion Shell is just enough, and that's really going to make Ajit's life a bit miserable, because the creep waves are just going to constantly bombard him. And, of course, that would mean the creep waves might potentially harass the tower. And Ajit's AP is certainly going to go down with this pressure by Cuckoo. But so far, Cuckoo, you know, that's going to be something helpful as the banishment has arrived. Onto KP again. There's a Power Strike onto KP. Poison damage is just too much, and Gabby goes for the stun. And there goes the finishing touches. KP getting slaughtered there by TNT on the top. So a really rough lane for KP, whether at the top or at the bottom lane. It seems to be not affecting him at all. I mean, obviously, Ion Shells could be useful against him. And, of course, this magical barrage here by TNC is going to shut him down. KP could actually cut the waves with the Naga Siren, like do what Cuckoo does. But, of course, that would mean that Cuckoo is certainly going to have a lot of space to get his levels up, which, of course, Darkseer desperately needs. So, very good approach here by TNC, just making KP's life miserable, who's currently 2-0 so far in terms of farm rate. Whereas if you look at Gabby at 13-9, and Cuckoo, well, he's a bit struggling, although he could actually make some space of his own as Ninja Boogie gets caught there by the Boro Strike, and he's going to TP out to safety. Now the mid lane, Mineski is so far doing well in terms of last hits in the nice with the 2 cores. Moon and Ajit are constantly stacking up the last hits, which they've shown against Warriors Gaming. And against Warriors Gaming, when the last hits in the nice ratio was just like solely in their favor, it is just like, you know, it's like from the mid to the late game, Warriors Gaming had no chance because Ajit was just completely online, making the plays. Moon was just wrecking through the back lines, and then, of course, combine it with the combo by the Jakiro, it just makes WG's life a bit miserable. So TNC has to watch out for this. So a lot of pressure is going to be placed on Armel, because Armel is going to be the guy who's going to carry TNC. He did that yesterday against Boom ID, and take note, TNT was actually not leading against Boom ID. They were completely wrecked by Boom ID early on, but they made a comeback because of like the farm rate that Armel had as Cuckoo getting caught there by the kinetic field. And there's a boulder smash, but the Boro Strike to make sure that TNC get the escape. They got 2 bounties on that section of the jungle, and they go for 3 bounties. TNC securing that momentum plays, leaving Mineski to only just 1 gold disposal in their bank accounts. Now, so far, Armel, 19-4. Moon, 27-14. It's really a living nightmare for him. I mean, of course, the Mana Shield is still stuck at level 1. I guess the pressure there by Moon is just really good, and the rotations of Raging Potato, which is constantly happening, just demoralizes Armel. So it's a very good strat by Mineski, because they know that Armel is really going to stack up gold. because he's like the primary right-click damage dealer for TNC. So the best way to shut him down is just to constantly harass him, there, imprison him all the way so that Moon could just act constantly, rack up. And I like what Moon's doing. As you can see, Cuckoo gonna struggle there. There's a kinetic field and the lightning ball onto his head as Cuckoo gets killed by Raging Potato. So I like what he's doing. He's just dodging the Mystic Snake, because Moon, if he gets caught by the snake, is gonna lose mana. And then he's going to go for the imprisonment onto Armel. So with the imprisonment onto Armel, Moon has so much farming space. So it's a very intelligent play by Moon, just microwing over Armel. And see, Armel already used like the last portion of his mana. And he doesn't have like null talismans to regenerate his mana. Wraith Bands are his option. So it's going to be a struggle for Armel. And this might force TNT to immediately rotate. I mean, they're doing a good job shutting down KP. And he is constantly getting bombarded. There's a Diabolic Edict, but the poison damages are just killing KP. And this is could actually snowball very efficiently for the side of Mineski. I mean, Gabby's magic damage is going to be very important early on for TNC if they plan to go for a very defensive approach. Like, a drum on Leshrac is going to help the side of TNC be tanky. As you see, a rolling boulder onto Armel. There's a boulder smash. Oh, Sanity's Eclipse and the Astral Imprisonment. But here comes AU to the rescue. Armel very low in HP, though. Raging Potato tries to go for the finishing touches, but instead, Moon is going to be finished here by TNC. A nice rotation there by TNC. And as long as Armel lives, you're good to go. Because Armel has been constantly being wrecked apart there by that Outloaded Boar as Raging, of course, going to Rolling Boulder away, but AU, oh, nice stun there by Gabby onto Raging Potato. Raging Potato is going to get fried as TNC, with the early momentum plays, the rotations are spot on. The response has been really good. I like the patience of TNC in this game. Like, sure, Moon may be constantly bombarding Armel, but they won't rotate unless if Armel desperately needed help. And because that might actually force Mineski to like counteract immediately. I mean, these clutch plays indeed by the side of TNC really worth it, as space has been created for Armel to potentially recover from this game. Now AU getting bombarded. Yeah, this is the annoying thing about Naga Siren. But it's also annoying about, of course, AU's poison damage. And of course, you got the split arrows as well from Armel. So these illusion armies by KP might not really be the best option. It could be used for like a split pushing option. So his impact in this game, in this getting towers, is just currently being wrecked. But he has other options. Mineski has other options, and Ajit is one of them. And so far, he's going to farm it to get his Lincoln Sphere, which he does need. Especially now that Gabby and Tims could just burst him down anytime in this game. And Mineski, are they going to go for the play here? Gabby and Tims are good targets. AU as well. These are very ludicrous targets on the side of Mineski. KP is not yet reached level 6, so the counterplay is not yet available. But the pressure by TNC is just too much. As Armel gets killed here by Moon. Good rotation there by Raging Potato. Gabby gets a tower. But look at this. TNC on the retreat. And Tim's trying to run away. Can he actually run away? Sandstorm is just keeping himself alive. There he's just dodging everything from Ajit, but in the end, Ajit gets the finishing touches onto Tim's. And now TNC get one bounty. They've already secured 3 bounties early. But Mineski have likewise recovered after what happened during the 5th minute. So Moon's got his double damage rune, and I'll expect him to like move around the map. I mean, Mineski is just being pushed to the brink, given this pressure by Gabby and AU. And it's actually very good. It's a good strat. And Mineski has nowhere else to go. Like, yeah, look, KP's no longer farming in his lane. He's just going to let Ajit take over the top spot. So this is going to stall KP's chances of getting his Meteor Hammer, if that's the path that he likes to go, as Ajit gets caught there by the stun and the magic damage there by Gabby. Of course, Morphling, if you burst him down with a gazillion tons of magic damage, he is certainly going to suffer. That's why this Mineski draft, this TNC draft is actually pretty good. It could potentially shut down the Morphling, especially if AU if AU could actually rack up that Spirit Vessel, or even Tim's as well. Like, Morphling's impact will be negated if those items are already on TNC's backpack. Now, Moon is going to set his sights onto the bottom section of the map, but despite being detrimental as Armel, is just going to have some leeway to get farm space. So how does this translate to net worth? Okay, Armel is currently 3,800 in terms of net worth compared to Ajit and Moon, who are currently at 5K. So Armel has a lot of catching up to do. But knowing TNC, this is a different TNC. If they're behind, they can actually recover. And if they're ahead, they can actually close games. As Gabby gets a kill onto Raging Potato. That's actually very good because that minimizes Raging Potato's impact. Because Raging Potato has been constantly moving around the map in this game. And for TNC to immediately spot him out and take him out of the equation, and that's going to be good. Because as long as Raging Potato is alive, then Ajit is going to farm. KP's going to farm as well. They got some breathing room. Ajit is trying to claw his way to get that Lincoln's ASAP. Just to make sure that TNC's magic damage is not really going to affect him early on in a team fight. And Tim's is going to this section of the jungle. He might spot Raging Potato. His warding has been spot on. Like, they know if Ajit or KP is just going to the jungle, which is a good sign if you're TNC. Like, you've already read what Mineski is going to do. The map vision is in your favor. So it's really shutting off the choking Mineski in this game. Like, sure, Ajit is trying his best to, create space for himself. The net worth might be big. But this might be beneficial because Armel's got so much breathing space now that he knows that. Where's Mineski going? There you go. We've seen Raging Potato. Although so far Raging Potato has rewarded one spot, but they still have some other options. So Armel could just move freely in his side of the jungle, and then not just his side of the jungle, even his own lanes, so that he could provide a counter push for the side of TNC. But TNC going for a smoke play, and they might spot onto Ninja Boogie. Ninja Boogie's a good target, and they spot onto Ninja Boogie. Iron Shell onto the Centaur. There's the Centaur stop onto Ninja Boogie. Ninja Boogie being poisoned down as Gabby goes for the exclamation point, bursts down Ninja Boogie out of the scenery. And they could actually go for more TNC. KP is just forced to back away. He has to hide under the tier 1 towers. This pressure by TNC is just actually too much for KP. And, Ajit, when he was playing as Naga Siren, would wait for Song of the Siren at level 8, but because of this pressure by TNC, he's forced to go for a Song early at level 6. So it's very paranoia on the side of Mineski so far in this game. Sure, you got the net worth advantage, but you got to concern yourself. Armel looks like he's going to catch up. And Gabby, well, he's already creating space for himself. He's going to go for a Spirit Vessel and a BKB. Really going to amplify his magical damage. Now TNT has to watch out for this combo by Mineski. Because Mineski has a really good combo, no doubt. And TNT, they want to avoid that combo. The best way to avoid that combo is to go for these pickoffs, to force Mineski to separate each other as the Song of the Siren has been set, sending teleportation scroll on the other members on the side of Mineski. Here comes Moon, here comes Ninja Boogie. There's a kinetic and static field, but it only misses, and to anyone, only Tim was affected. There's a wall target, but so far Ajit is just doing a lot. He's getting a lot of damage from the wall itself. As you can see, Mineski lose one because of that epic combo that responds by TNC, actually doing well. And Armel says, well, I'm late to the party, but I may be not late to go for the finishing touches, but that was a really good setup by Cuckoo. Vacuum onto the wall on this section of the map, just minimizing Mineski's options for escape, forcing Ajit to just wave away, and even if he waves away, he still gets damaged by the damage courtesy of those illusions, those replicas. And Armel is like, okay, I'm gonna wait for Moon to pop his ultimate. When Moon pop his ultimate, that's the time I strike back. And that is called space created by TNC. They're very clinical against Mineski. Very well thought of. They know that the countermeasures are going to be prepared. And Armel gets a tier 1 tower at mid with no hesitation at all. And Cuckoo, being the playmaker side of TNC, is just going to try to scout around the map. He's actually doing a very good job giving space for Armel. Gabby likewise was given so much space as well. But take note, the setup by Mineski wasn't really good because the static and kinetic field combo didn't really land. Like Tim's was caught by the kinetic field because he had to Boros strike. But basically that's it. It's a really tuned in, like sweet music there by TNC. And there's nothing Mineski could do. Like, sure, Ajit really doesn't have yet his damage-centric items. And even his defensive items were not even on that matchup. But maybe this Lincoln Sphere could change the scope of that game as TN Mineski. Oh, they're going to go for a smoke play as Cuckoo's just going to hide under this tier 2 tower. But remember, here's TNT with the backup plays as well. Tims might even spot someone together with AU. But instead, they know that Mineski's actually setting their sights onto Cuckoo. So a very good read there by the side of TNC. Man, that was a really wasted effort by Mineski. That was a good setup of the song. Magnetize was even available there. And OD already popped the Sanity's Eclipse, but it wasn't really that enough. I guess OD needs more damage in that game. Because Blink Dagger, Drum of Endurance, it gives you some survival instinct. But your magic damage might be limited. 2 null talismans might not further aid that. Like, Moon's going for a bit of defensive items in this game. And it might be detrimental, especially if Armel, like, as you can see, a Manta style, which could certainly penetrate through Moon. Like a Manta style and then possibly a Skadi. So the BKBs might not be useful here on the side of Moon, especially if he tries to imprison someone or imprison himself. It might not be enough. As Moon is trying to play a game of hide and seek with TNC, but Tims might have set his sights. Oh no, Moon. Moon just actually blink out. It's a very smart play by Moon. Moon has no TP, but he's getting surrounded here by this triangle offense by TNC. There's the Astral imprisonment to keep himself alive, but the stun is actually too late by Gabby. But Moon already being caught by the Spirit Vessel, but KPII with the setup. There's a static and kinetic field combo, and this could be a disaster for TNT as Gabby is getting wrecked apart as Armel trying to do something, but the magnet slows him down, and the rest of the members of TNC, Cuckoo trying to save his teammate, AU forced to run away. This is certainly not a good situation for TNC as Ajit waves away, says surprise to AU, but this time Tims with a counterplay gets a kill into Moon. They salvage something, and they kill Ninja Boogie as well. They get some 2 in the thrift shop. Now Ajit gonna go next on the list, but Armel does not have the mana, and because of that, he's gonna get bursted down with ease as Ajit is certainly on a roll. I mean, remember, Ajit's on a triple kill. He's on a mega kill streak, and he's currently unfazed by this assault by TNC. That was really beautifully timed by KP in this game. And of course, that actually created space for the static and kinetic field combo that Mineski have been desperately needing in this matchup. And they lose a tier 1 tower, TNC. So space has been created to KP. Alright, this could be his chance to recover. Now he has a Meteor Hammer. So towers are going to be instantly destroyed by Mineski with a Meteor Hammer, and maybe TNT might suffer from the damage and the stun durations of that Meteor Hammer. Like, Gabby was completely bursted right after he was caught by the static and kinetic field, and Ninja Boogie with the right call for Mineski. So we're gonna see Moon if he's okay. Moon's gonna go for his BKB, trying to climb his way toward it. KP, and then how's Armel doing so far in terms of farm? Okay, he's got Manta style. Really good. He needs a Scotty because he's without a Mana Shield. Ajit is just gonna wreck him apart. Yeah, the burst damage he received there in that team fight was just so big. So Gabby's got his Vessel. Gonna go for a BKB next. He does need a BKB just to make sure that these imprisonments and statics and kinetics won't be able to affect him that much. Remember, TNC has a good setup with this Blink Dagger Epicenter play. And a single vacuum and wall could actually change their fortunes at their favor. So far, after that previous clash, TNC, they may have thought of themselves, okay, we gotta stall it down. Let's give Armel the space needed. He's still not ready. Like he was being bursted down by Ajit. Because Armel's going to be the difference maker in our team. So let's just make sure that he's constantly going to get fed up. And he's about to reach the top in the net worth, although not yet. He already defeated, he already outpaced Moon at one point. So this is what TNC's doing. They're just going to give Army everything so that he could rack up his arsenal. Like Manta style may not be enough in your arsenal. Scotty would certainly be an important factor. But of course, we also have to watch out. Moon, they have to watch out. Moon is going to get his BKB, so Stone Gaze might not be a factor anymore. So far, Cuckoo's providing his team vision, so they know that Mineski's in the bottom side of the jungle. KP's trying to push through this section of the map. So TNC, that's going to give a lot of room for TNC to just move around and get some kills onto the laning phase and onto these jungle creeps. They need the farm for Armel. Gabby, well, he also needs his farm as well, but Armel is the #1 priority.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Now for the side of Mineski, perhaps they're going to balance things out, like let KP get the bottom section of the map, then Moon is going to get this section of the map, and then Ajit. So it's really separated. So no one is really a priority for the side of Mineski. Like, you want Ajit to get Manta style, but of course a Scotty would be ludicrous indeed. So they gotta watch out for Armel as well if you're Mineski. So it's really a matter of knowing where the heroes are if you're either side. Because if you're Mineski, you want to hunt down Armel. If you're TNC, you want to make sure that you know where Ajit or Moon is positioned, because they could just rotate any time and just surprise you if you try to go for the initiation attempt. And so far, KP trying his best to redeem his early laning phase, since his illusions don't really work well. But so far, it's further mitigated now that Armel has his Manta style. So he could just constantly bombard into KP's illusion armies. But Mineski goes for a much more decent approach. They go for the smoke play. Satellites are set onto Armel. Sentry wards will certainly not reveal Mineski's positioning. Now, I'm not sure if Armel is aware of this, and he gets caught, forced to pop out the Stone Gaze, but he was silenced. But Ajit is already turned to a rock, but Armel caught by the Astral Imprisonment. This could be a 4v1 gang, but AU with the save up to Armel. Armel gets bursted down there by Ajit. Ajit is just too much, but KP attacking through the backlines, not giving Gabby space as Gabby gets wrecked apart as Ajit is currently on a tear. He is currently wicked sick. He's already half the flu. Someone give him a get well card soon, as Tim's already blinks in with the Burrow Strike and to the Sandstorm. That was a really good performance there by Mineski, but they could look for more as AU tries to escape. Can he really run away with this? Poison damage though onto Raging Potato stacking up. Oh, but the imprisonment actually makes sure that Raging Potato does live on, and there you go, well protected, as AU is getting slaughtered by Ajit, who is now ridiculously on Mineski's head. Just look at the net worth on Ajit at 15k. Mineski, they're just really racking up with this. Now Tim's with the invisibility. Is he going to go for the Border Strike play? Decides to back off. You don't really have the options left if you're a TNC. Now that Mineski Mineski has just gone for a more aggressive approach. As Muna with the BKB says, I'm the man among all men, and I'm just going to rack up the points with that BKB. But Tims is knowing caught in a different universe, and he gets surrounded there by Mineski. It's a nice gank as Ajit is already godlike. Now Mineski, by TNC, they might be forced to bow down beyond this god by known as Ajit. As there's a glimpse onto Armel getting caught by the kinetic field. This Ajit is just slowly bursting him down. There's the meteor hammer onto AU and onto Armel. Armel is going to create space for himself with the counterplay, and yes, it's finally working for Armel. And look at this. Cuckoo is on a killing spree as they get more targets from Mineski. And look at that, they regain 3. I mean, the static and kinetic field combo is really great. But then you have to consider Armel in the nick of time popped his stone gaze. Popped his stone gaze in the nick of time, not giving space for Mineski to just back off. And of course, everyone being set to stone allows Armel to deliver the right-click damage with ease. A really good setup there by TNT. See, that was how they won against Boom ID. They just waited for the right moment to strike off with that stone gaze. And so far, it's actually working well. You thought that Armel was going to be obliterated because so far the damage he's receiving from Moon is just too much. And add the fact that you had to deal with other problems like Ajit and the rest of the crew. But so far, he's actually survived pretty well. And his HP was just nearly below 0 because of what the damage has been done to him. But so far, he has done pretty well to get back in this game. Now Moon is trying to hide his way. The BKB was actually a bit helpful, but so far his damage is a bit lacking. I mean, he was able to burst out Armel, but if you want to really shut him down, gotta produce more. You're getting caught, and instant cash there on the side of Mineski's Moon. And the Meteor Hammer setup was good. The Pipe of Insight as well on KP. Actually, the Meteor Hammer setup was really good to shutting down Armel. But again, you do realize you need more than just that, now that Armel could be a potential beast. Okay, so KP going for Assange as his next build. So I'm not sure if he's going for Assange or Yash or going for Heaven's Halberd as his next item. I mean, his survival is also very important, as of course he could just constantly spam up those Riptides. So maybe a Halberd could be useful? Although Sanj and Yash could also be useful as well for the status resistance. Now TNC are just going to push through this tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Nice Diabolic Edict by Gabby, just melting the tower. Gabby's got BKB. So he's not going to be an easy target for anyone from Mineski's squad. But you can see a smoke gang coming in by Mineski, going for the typical backstab play. AU's certainly going to spot this. He's certainly, no doubt, he's going to sacrifice his life for the greater good of TNC. But okay, Cuckoo knows what's happening. Gonna get caught by Raging Potato. Onto the kinetic field there by Mineski. And here comes Ajit to deliver the blow onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo is just a bit tanky so far. Oh, they can't even seem to stop Cuckoo. And now Moon's gonna right-click his way just to make sure that Cuckoo does not live on. But as long as you're TNC and you let Armel live, that's a good sign. Now Armel's got his Eye of Scotty. Tims has his Veil of Discord, so his magic damage is gonna further amplify together with Gabby. So that will certainly burst down Mineski. I mean, you got the Pipe of Insight. That could be your saving grace if you're Mineski. As Ajit pushes through the tier 1 tower on the mid lane. And Mineski are going to knock furthermore to the tier 2 tower. You just need one good setup if you're a TNC or if you're a Mineski just to wipe them out. Because you both have really good combos in this game. Now look at this, Ajit just setting off these boulders as a trap for Mineski in case they try to rotate around. And the Meteor Hammer doing its damage. The Meteor Hammer damage may have been like reduced, but it's been really effective. Up, rolling boulder there. Who did they spot? Actually, they go for the retreat instead. Now Ajit's got BKB, so it's not going to be an easy catch. BKB Lincoln and then a Manta style? And Ajit could potentially be on a tear, like on a defensive moment, if TNC and Mineski are going 5v5. Alright, so TNC are going to return the favor, get this tier 2 tower on the mid lane. On the other hand, the members of Mineski are trying to rotate the way TNC did early. So it's a very cautious approach by both teams. So far, none has yet gotten the main advantage in terms of like gold count in this game. Like sure, Ajit is leading in terms of net worth, but Armel, even though Armel's behind, you could still actually recover. And they could get this tier 2 tower here in the top lane with ease. But oh, that thought though, we could see KP gonna set up things though. Here comes the back play. Oh, that could be the bait there. That could be the bait by the side of Mineski. Oh, look at this. Gabby and Tims are trying to hide themselves. So this is going to be a 4v1 protect. Armel is going to be the bait, but he's got Tims and Gabby to protect him. Oh, Raging Potato. Yo, look at that. Tims with the Burrow Strike onto Raging Potato. He gets slowed down, rolling boulders away. But KP, oh, he has spot 4 members on the side of TNC. Here comes the Meteor Hammer, static and kinetic field. Oh, that's a great start there by Mineski. But the BKBs have been popped, and Armel forced to go for the stolen gate. Here comes the counterplay. TNC gonna make something out of the stones. The stones themselves as Ajit. Can he survive through this? Mineski forced to go for the buyback. Ajit changing attributes. Will it work wonders? He's gonna get slowed down though. The buybacks are set by Mineski to provide the defensive stance for Mineski, but Armel cannot be touched. He is outscaped in this game. Just look at that. He's outdistanced himself. He's actually a sniper through the back lines, just demoralizing the overall morale of Mineski. Just look at that. Look at Mineski, Ajit, and Raging Potato forced to go to the shrine section of the map, but no, the Burrow Strike onto Raging Potato before he could boulder away, and that certainly is his own demise as Ninja Boogie is going to go next on the list. The Sandstorm onto Boogie as Gabby is on a roll. This is what you're talking about, the Veil and the Magic Burst. That was really enough as Armel, once again, the savior of TNC, just like what he did against Boom ID yesterday with that Medusa play. And this is going to be a sign that every team that's going up against TNC has to ban Armel's Medusa. Because so far, with this approach by TNC to protect Armel at all costs, it's really working well for them. And this could actually open up the borders for TNC. There's a route onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo gonna get caught there by the Meteor Hammer. As Ajit tries his best, but Ajit blocks off the stun by Gabby. As Armel is just gonna move forward. He's all vacuum there for Armel to just constantly kite off to KP and Ajit. Oh, Song of the Siren onto 4. But the thing is, KP has no mana. So that's just a defensive song by KP. If he has the follow-up, if he had the mana, that would have been really good. But so far, Mineski is crumbling. TNC are just going to get the Shrine section. 20k net worth lead. It's the Armel show. And space created. I just really think that this sort of approach by TNC, Coach Heen's impact is really phenomenal. Like, you thought that TNC would not make this work because at some points Mineski would certainly burst them down in the late game because of how balanced their lineup is in terms of right hits, in terms of magic damage. Whereas the TNC, it's just like giving the ball to Armel all of the time. Like Armel is your lone striker. Yep, he's your lone striker. And even though he's your lone striker and TNC are surrounding him with a bunch of playmakers, it's a really good strat. And now Armel's got the butterfly, so he's not going to be an easy catch for Mineski in this game. So you try to right-click him. He's got his ultimate to halt anyone from Mineski to advance. Yeah, Mineski just fell to this trap. They thought that they got the disruptor play readied on. But so far, it seems like it wasn't the case.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Look at this tier 3 tower on the top lane. It's gonna get wrecked apart by Army. Ajit and KP are just left wondering what can they do with this barrage by TNC. There you go. Tier 3 tower goes down. The set of racks as well next. This could be the final stance of Mineski. KP's got the salt. He's gonna use it out. Well, there he goes. It's a 2-man assault here. Look at this. There's a meteor hammer. Here comes the final stand, though. BKBs have all been popped out. The magic damage of Gabby to slow things down. And of course, you have that. Oh, Armel actually pops out his ultimate to stall down Mineski, forcing Mineski to back off in a bit and likewise getting caught in the middle of the right cylinders of this map. Stuck, imprisoned, enchained indeed, as Mineski are forced nowhere else to go. Where can they go with what Armel's doing? Well, they tried to move back, but it was already too late. They were choked there by TNC. Mineski was just trying to go on the right flank, but of course it was forced there by TNC. They had nowhere else to go if you're Mineski. That's a beautiful setup by Armel once again, with the Stone Gaze. With the Stone Gaze alone. It just makes some productivity levels of Mineski on 5v5 really amplified at its peakest. And then you have Gabby just dishing out magic damage everywhere. It's just a nightmare for Mineski. They have no response to this. You thought that they had a really good laning phase after like dominating the network. Like Ajit and Moon are like number 1 and number 2 respectively, like all throughout the first early stages of the game. And then you realize, oh dear, this Armel is just insane. And he's got BKB. No wonder why Moon has no impact with him. Like, it doesn't seem to matter what Mineski is going to do right now. They've already lost most of their set of racks. And Armel's damage is just so much. That's it. It's just the damage of Armel and Gabby. It doesn't matter how many BKBs you have. Now they're going to get this Rose Pit and Mineski with a Hail Mary play. Can it happen, though? Okay, Mineski are just going to find their way. Oh, they find a good target, though, which is none other than Cuckoo, but Cuckoo could just run away. Oh, magnetized, and there's a wall of replica to slow down Mineski. I mean, that's also a nightmare for Mineski to deal with. I mean, Moon has amplified his damage. Ajit has likewise amplified his damage, and then if they get caught by that wall, you're really going to wreck the part, especially with the Stone Gaze combo. Remember, Armel has a Stone Gaze. There's a Song of the Siren, though. KP looking for the best target. Tim's is his target. Now look at this Armel, forced to pop out the BKB. This is just too much for Mineski to handle, just rigging wrecked apart there. I mean, look at that. Mineski forced to magnetize the safety, but apparently it's not really that efficient because Ajit and the rest of the crew are just getting obliterated by this aggression here by TNC. Look at this. Armel doesn't even need to pop his ultimate. All he has to do is just right-click, 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 vacuum there. Just to pull everyone as Moon tries to go for the play. But no, the clutch play, of course it does work, but he gets kited out. Disastrous indeed, as Mineski are getting torn to shreds here. Forced to type out the GG, and this is very phenomenal by TNC. 17k gold lead. And from the start, it was looking like things were not at their favor, especially when the first Song of the Siren onto the disruption play was important. But then, here comes the countermeasures. Armel just racking up his ultimate. The TNC was just pushed to the limit, forcing Armel to rack his ultimate. But then it was the absolute game changer on that section of the map. Like, Armel just created space for his team to contradict the movement of Mineski. So anyway, that's all for today with the matchup between TNC and Mineski. We'll be back for some more of the close qualifier actions, so stay tuned.